Oh, can we not catch a break? Is this team at a loss before we get into the playoffs? So many questions. Let's talk about it. Yo, what's up, Eagles Nation? What's up, Sports Nation? It's your boy, Cool Eagle, back here in another video. Just want to come talk to you guys because, whoa, do we have a lot to talk about today in the world of Eagles football. As y'all know, we took a crushing defeat yesterday at Metlife versus the New York Giants. Congratulations to the New York Giants. They really gave it to us. The final score doesn't tell the whole story. They literally were blowing us out like 24 to nothing before the half. Um, and it really started to take off when AJ Brown, before he got hurt, fumbled in the red zone, and then the Giants just went on a 21-0 streak that the defense just didn't have an answer for. We didn't blitz at all. We couldn't convert any pressures to get to the quarterback. Even when Tyrod Taylor went out with that thumb injury, we still couldn't take advantage of it. Tommy DeVito was still having a little bit of success, and when Tyrod Taylor got back in, the game was just pretty much over. You start seeing that Giants offense do plays that they normally don't do. You see them throw a shot to Saquon Barkley on the sideline, and it's good night, Irene. Uh, for the past 6 weeks, we couldn't stop the run. We were giving up a clip of 150 yards, worst in the league. Now we got a break today because Saquon Barkley had 16 carries, 45 yards, and 2 touchdowns, but he definitely could have got 1,000 yards for the season in that game if he wanted to, because we just couldn't do anything. The Giants defense was just playing bully ball. They were blitzing like 75% of the time. The coaches, like per usual, was not helping the offense get in a position to win. They didn't have any hot routes set up for Jalen Hurts, and he was just out there to, fending for himself at that point. And now he has a hurt middle finger on his throwing hand that we don't know the 100% status of. We know from Jeff McLean that it's not a major injury, but going into the playoffs, your quarterback's throwing hand is injured in a passing offense that's already inept. You know, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who were going to go play in the playoffs on a Monday night, mind you, they give up the most yards rushing, but the Eagles don't run the ball enough. So, how can we as Eagles fans, rational Eagles fans, process this information to be like, oh, well, we can take advantage right here? No, we can't, because the coaches are just so inept that you tell them the Tampa Bay Buccaneers give up 150 yards rushing the game, and they'll be like, no, we're going to throw it 40 times. I think that'll be the right game plan. And then when the game is over and the Eagles lost and are booted from the playoffs, losing 37-13 on some shit, Nick Sirianni's goof ass is just going to come on a press conference talking about, our game plan wasn't good enough. We thought what we had would be no, and Eagles fans are going to continue to bang the drum that this whole coaching staff needs to go. Because at first it was just fire Brian Johnson, but now Nick Sirianni's on the hot seat, and we haven't heard from Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman yet, assuring us that his job is safe. So if there was a game, if Nick Sirianni's job wasn't on the hot seat before this game, he's definitely on the hot seat now. Because how do you go into this last game of the season, the regular season, mind you, before we have to go in the playoff on the road, and you get your ass whooped by a team that you have routinely put foots in for years? And I thought the game was going to be close, which still wasn't going to instill a lot of confidence in Eagles fans. I thought we would at least set the tone for the first half, like go by a reasonable lead and then put our starters in, and then whatever happens, happens, because Dallas was going to do about just anything they wanted to Ron Rivera and those Commanders. Ron Rivera was already calling the U-Haul at halftime. and Dallas was going to hold on to that number 2 seed, having 2 home playoff games, in favorable conditions, mind you, because Dallas is going to play the Green Bay Packers, who might be a better matchup than we think because they run the ball very well. Jordan Love is very good at getting the ball out of his hands and doesn't turn the ball over a lot. So we don't know what's going to happen in that game. But as far as the Eagles are concerned, we have a lot of problems going to the playoffs. Injuries, one, AJ Brown, we don't know whether he's going to play or not. Devontae Smith coming off an injury. Darius Slay coming off an injury. Uh, I mean, we don't know what we're going to get out of this front seven that hasn't gotten as many sacks as they had last year. Can't convert pressures into sacks. Defensive play calling is just absolutely terrible. On the offensive side of the ball, you know that Tampa Bay is very inept at stopping the run, but you throw the ball 40 times anyway, 40, 45 times anyway, putting your quarterback in harm's way. You don't give him any kind of adjustments when the defense for Tampa Bay that is third in the league at blitz rate to help this man get out of harm's way against this kind of defense. So I just don't know where the Eagles are going to go from here. I still have confidence and I'm holding on to the conspiracy that the Eagles are just holding off until the playoffs. Dallas Goddard hinted at after week 10 when we were at 10-1 that the Eagles were just waiting for the playoffs to start. But that still doesn't excuse you going 1-for-5 in your last 6 games and you're going on the road in the playoffs with all these internal conflicts, all these ineptitudes on both sides of the ball. And you have Eagles fans just waiting for the offseason at this point because you didn't instill any kind of faith in Eagles fans after that game. They really didn't have a lot of faith before the game. And you had to play a game where I told you guys in my previous videos that the Eagles had no business playing at Metlife, that they had no business playing at Metlife if they would just handle business versus the Arizona Cardinals at home. But you didn't. Because if we would have beat the Arizona Cardinals at home, that would have put pressure on Dallas to win, opening up mistakes, them having to play like their full starters, and you might have had a really good chance to take that 2 seed back, but you lost that game handedly at home, and you lost this game versus the Giants handedly, to where the Cowboys were just like, oh, okay, we can sit Zach Martin, we can sit these guys here and there, and still do pretty well versus the Commanders, and they did. So I'm just at a loss for words at this point. Obviously, we still got more content this week talking about around the NFL. Y'all like, subscribe, get this content out, man. Love doing this with you guys. Even though this is one of the more inopportune times to talk to y'all with sad look on my face. Not very confident in the Philadelphia Eagles going into Tampa Bay, a team that's played us before, probably licking their chops right now, looking at how many yards we give up on the defensive side of the ball, the just the overall ineptitude of Nick Sirianni, Brian Johnson, unable to adjust to anything really. So curious to hear what you guys think about that in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We got more content on the way, but I'll talk to you guys later.